Hello guys.
Hello.
Wow, it's been a long while. We
Long
haven't
time.
appeared ourselves on YouTube.
Only IG Live, yeah, YouTube. It's been a very, very long time since we made a video for YouTube. We have very good reason, very good occasion. We've been traveling a lot,
Yeah.
almost 5 months in a row.
So where are we now?
We are in Xiamen in our new home. And today we received, literally today, a few hours ago, we received our new table and some chairs and the bench that I'm sitting on. And we're gonna make even, we're gonna see a little bit how it's related to what we're gonna, to what we're gonna talk about today,
Yeah.
which is
Which is Yancha.
Yancha.
Yeah.
Oh, we're drinking a lot of Yancha.
Yeah.
Already 3 digits of Yancha since we moved to Xiamen about 2 months ago.
And actually next month it will be Mid-Autumn Festival, so that's the time of Yancha.
Like the official release every year,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though we are on pre-release now
Yeah,
today.
definitely.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna drink 3 types of
Three
Yancha.
types.
But
From-
all from the same place, Wuyi,
Wuyi.
a very, very famous area
Mhm.
for Lao Cong Shui Xian.
Yeah, one of my favorite places. I have to admit. 3 years in a row, it's been. We have today. We're gonna drink 3 different sources. We're gonna drink 3 different versions, 3 different farms, 3 different makers, 3 different bakers, 3 different sources that we work with. It's a bit like the industry in Fujian is a bit different than maybe other places like Taiwan or sometimes in Yunnan that you talk about a tea master. It's very, very hard to talk about a tea master because we will divide the making of Yancha to 4 stages, and we're gonna see how important each of them, and we're gonna see also the role of the tea master in one of these 4 stages, and let's continue. Let's start.
Yeah.
The first one.
So first we're gonna choose already been for one-time baking.吴三地老樅
We'll
is
see how
from
much we
this
have.
year's spring. So well, we had these samples actually around 2-3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
when the teachers
It's
went for one-time baking.
Really unofficial because it's not common to see this kind. Definitely not these bags. Definitely not this packaging. But again, we were more involved than the making of this tea than the other 2. Currently, the Wuyi Yancha, Lao Cong Shui Xian we're selling in our website is actually not from this maker. It's from one of the other 2
And it's from last year.
last year, which is now just on time. It's like perfect time. We released it like 4 or 5 months ago. It's the peak now. Usually need the tea to rest. We're gonna talk about it more.
So actually, I want to show the leaves looks like, because usually what we see, Yancha is already like finished the baking, but now it's only been for one-time baking, and the leaves.
I'll try to zoom out maybe later now that we're.
Definitely
We're gonna see it even more green.
Yeah, definitely it's
Looks like a 2-3 years old Shangcha.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, the darkness, it's not really going through all the leaves, but it makes sense because it's only one time. So, but now I just asked our farmers. They say this tea, they already been the 2nd time of baking. It's ready. So maybe next week we can go there and try.
How many degrees do you bring?
I make 95 degrees.
But in this kettle, it can be even more. Depends on the stage.
By the way, this is our new kettle.
New kettle.
Yeah, love it. We bought it the latest model, and it looks so cool and very durable as well. By the way, I just want to show you the color of the rings.
Yeah, not typical. There's
Yeah,
no doubt.
right?
It's not typical.
Can you throw it?
Yeah.
So just for you to see that, like only after one time of baking, how the color of the liquor looks like.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Wusandi a little bit.
Yeah.
Wusandi.
So if you guys are into Lao Cong Shui Xian, Wusandi, it's really one of the most famous. And what interesting is this, it's not from Zhenyan.
Mm-hmm.
So why it's so famous, especially the area, it's not in Zhenyan.
Mm-hmm. Until a few years ago, people used to say full rock in English. I mean, we used to say full rock.
Yeah.
But because I think since last year, Yancha became just started to be trendy again after a few years of quite low fire. We see more demand, we see more questions on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Facebook. Now on YouTube, you can definitely leave your comments here below, and we will answer.
Yeah. So first, let's take a sip. Cheers.
Sip, cheers, Chaim.
Yeah.
It keeps changing. The third time we drink it.
The aroma is still very, very obvious and high. Very sweet.
Getting even better. It's just resting.
Mm-hmm.
Third time we drink the tea in the course of a month. The tea is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Same kettle, same water, even the same teaware.
Mm-hmm.
Just different table. And no doubt it's the tannins are more soft right now.
Mm-hmm.
And something about the flavors, you have something when the tea is not fully baked, you have something soapy that is much more like in the background right now. Bring the fruity out. Really reminds me more of our Wusandi in the website. It's really
Actually, it's been a very long time I haven't drank our Wushandi, so very soon we will get to it. Let's talk about a little bit background of Wushandi. First of all, this the name Wushandi is actually comes from a king, you can say, a king from Yunnan. So back to Qing Dynasty.
king or emperor, or it wasn't like Empire China.
You can call it like the king that was ruling Yunnan in Qing Dynasty. So you know there are some conflicts, you know, political conflicts in Yunnan, but the Qing Dynasty, the Qing government won the war. So this guy, his name is called Wu Sangui. He left Yunnan and three of his brothers that left to Wuyi around Wushandi, this area, and they live very low key and to grow tea. So if you know the Chinese brothers means 兄弟. So yeah, so the name Wu Sangui. So he took the grape out, and they add the three brothers that grow the laochungs together. So it's Wu Shanti. Yeah. So it's like kind of like taking the sound, you know, and to change the name.
What reminds me now more of the ready Wusandi from last year is the notes of the citrus note that were abandoned. That I couldn't find.
Let's make another brew.
Before, yes. And
by the way, I think at this point you guys will have a question that what actually the difference between drinking the first bake and second bake? What's the main difference?
Yes.
Except what you see, you know, the liquor, it's different.
Soon we're gonna drink.
Yeah. So in your opinion?
Yeah. So in my opinion, the citrus notes not necessarily sour, more like from orange, from Xiaoqinggan reminds me this kind of citrus notes that are very, very nice.
Yeah.
And the astringency, the tannins here, and it's there's no doubt that astringency is playing a big part in the texture of Yancha. I don't know any Yancha that doesn't have any astringency at all. It's an outcome of this process as well. It's kind of a heavy process, this tea. But when the material is raw, malcha, the tea is literally not ready. That's why it's quite you. I mean, you need to know. You need to have your connections. You need to have to really be involved in order to get this kind of tea, because it's really it's like unacceptable to trade this tea. Because it's really not ready. It's a cookie dough, which, by the way, brings me to the term baking. I made a little research because we are obviously we're one of the only vendors that dealing with Yancha for so long, and we've been using the term baking, and it's very confusing because there's also roasting. And while roasting is a much it's a much wider term, you can use roasting for different kinds of procedures, different kind of finishing in tea processing, and I've seen these mistakes all the time, like talking about fixing or drying the tea leaves as roasting. So that's why for many years, already 6 or 7 years, we stick to the term baking.
Yeah, it's true.
What I found out, first of all, you can use both. Even in Chinese, when you translate, roasting and baking is mostly the same. But this is probably because in the culinary history of China, they hardly use baking like in the West. And it says that baking is something that changing its form in the process of baking. Like it's puffing from a dough to become some other form. While roasting is just making the color, keeping the same shape and becoming more dark. Which literally means that when you think about the leaves of Yancha, it's more appropriate to say roasting. It's just very confusing. I'm not sure if we're gonna.
Actually, I don't know this part of information. That's
I didn't know. It's very
Yeah.
interesting, and I'm sure the Chinese people don't know it as well, because wheat and bread and things that puff, it's
Bacon.
yeah. It's something that is less dominant in terms of culinary history in China. Chinese really stick to wok, stir frying, and steaming. 99% of the cooking. That's how they make things. So I think that's the reason. Only my perspective.
Let's drink the second brew and tell me what you think.
But fun fact, right?
That's very fun.
Fun fact. So roasting, baking, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm in love.
This tea?
Yeah, because the first time we drank it, it was too rough. It was too out of context. And I really, really like it. Also, it does feel raw. It doesn't have still all those raisin and dry fruits, a little bit. Notes that we're going to see later after resting, but maybe I'm just really, just something that comes up in my mind right now. Maybe because the baking of this tea is shorter in general, in total, then it doesn't need to rest too long in order to evolve, in order to change. While 2 or 3 times baking needs much more rest.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So that's why I think 1 month, 1 month and a half maybe was enough.
But I tell you what, Nadi and I, we always have different opinion of tea. And personally, I think that after the first bake, the aroma in this tea is like in your face. But in terms of richness or aftertaste, I think as a Lao Cong Shui Xian, it's still not even like showing or presenting the real characteristic of the tea.
It cannot
If you're
represent
asking, if you're asking me this tea, like the chong, like you know, in Lao Cong Shui Xian we always talk about the chong wei, like the chong flavor, the rotten wood flavor, or some like moss flavor. It's not here. So personally, I can't wait to try the one that already been through second time of baking.
2024. But now we're gonna try 2023.
Yeah.
How many versions we have? Two.
We have two versions.
Both 2023 from two different suppliers.
Yeah. Which one do you want to try?
Head to head.
Yeah, head to head. Let's do it. So,
is it fine to make it with these guy ones, or you want me to bring another one? Or let's clean this.
Yes, clean this because to test the tea, I always prefer.
Why it's a waste?
Ceramic. Coming back with clean teaware.
Yeah, clean teaware, boiled water.
We are comparing two Wuyi Lao Cong Shui Xian from last year.
2023.
Yeah. Both of them, they are from different suppliers. And actually one of them we never try.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very
But
curious.
no, this is what we're selling.
No, I mean this one we never try.
Yeah, but this one is in our website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like one of them, it's our product, and one of them it's from a new supplier.
Yeah.
And we're putting full portion, not like
so it's like 9 grams and I think 8. It's chabudo. It's not exactly. What I wanted to say, 8.5. What I wanted to say is that. Saying like Yancha farmer is like it's not really correct. And you know what? If it's correct, if the person that owns the land and maintain the lands and responsible for the making of the tea and the baking of the tea and the resting of the tea, that's not a good signal. This is not how the industry works. You need to specialize in these 4 stages. So I would just I'll just talk very briefly about the 4 stages of Yancha. The first, of course, is the terroir, which the most important, the signature of Yancha is the land, the soil. And the second part is the tea making. The tea making itself is you can say it's a classic tea making of Oolong. It used to be mostly like high oxidation, but now you can even find lower oxidation. When usually we talk about a tea master, right? For example, a tea master of Tieguanin or Gaoshan Oolong in Taiwan, or even Dianhong, Hongcha, one of our most rewarded, like acclaimed tea masters we work with is a Dianhong master from Fengqing. In Yancha, maybe some people will say that's the least important part of the. Like in the process, they would give it less importance.
And pretty standard actually, as long as you don't make any mistakes. The front part, which is except baking, usually is fine. You know, like they even say like 30%, it's the front processing.
Some people say
and 70%, it's baking. That's the most important.
Baking and resting, which is step number 3 and 4. You can drink.
And no, I want to smell first. This is just the first ring.
Okay. I just drank.
Yeah. Very surprising.
Very dominant fire.
In my opinion, when you look at the color of the liquid. This one, just like Nadi said, very dominant, high fire.
It is very, very balanced.
In your face, yeah. This one.
The lips are a bit smaller. I don't know. This is not our packaging, but maybe it's
that one is much more soft and gentle. But in terms of color, it looks pretty the same, right?
It looks pretty the same. The dark handle here is affecting things.
Alright.
Or no, it's just the window. It's pretty the same.
Can you rinse it?
Okay.
The other one.
So step number 3 and number 4 is baking and resting. So what Pink says earlier, some suppliers, some farmers give make the balance like 30% to 70%. 30% the terroir and the tea making, and 70% baking and resting. It really depends. I think this balance is mostly applied for maybe half rock teas, but when you talk about the higher grades of teas that the soil matters the most, I think the balance will be different. Color already changing.
Yep.
So I think in Lao Cong Shui Xian, I'm trying to give it like a 50-50, but it really depends. Lao Cong are old trees, ancient trees in Fujian standards. Ancient trees in Fujian standards are about 50, 60, even 70 years old trees. These teas are around 60s. I think minimum 60, at least confirmed with this supplier, because they have different farms.
Sure.
But in Yunnan, 60 is xiaoshu. It's young. 60 years is you can really nothing. I start with this.
Not bad. It's very, very different in terms of character.
Yeah, comparable though.
Yeah, comparable.
What do you think about?
Actually, this baking reminds me a little bit of yogurt.
Okay.
Wow, so Australian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like there's something. Okay. It's perfect that we arrived to this point that we're talking about the third and fourth stages, because this is a great example of baking, the third stage, that is covering up for tea making. It's very, very obvious. This tea, to drink it as matcha, I imagine a pretty hardcore experience. Because the baking here is very noticeably guided by trying to fix issues in the tea making. While this one you can feel that the baking was even creative, because this tea is baked only twice, not 3 times. This one I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I don't know.
And the fourth stage is the resting, which I don't feel like people give it enough attention. Tea right after baking. We have some 2024. We have some Yancha that is ready. We keep sampling. We're sampling Yancha all year, since the picking until all the time. Most of the time, what we test is resting. We test how the yin part of the tea making, how the passive stage of the tea making is bringing the tea to shine or to drop, maybe revealing more flaws. And that's why I wanted to make this connection for the furniture that we have here, because it's just like wood.
It's true.
Have you ever seen wood right after it was right after they cut it from the trees? The log look very, very raw. It has a strong sawdust smell. It doesn't shine. It doesn't look. You can hardly feel the texture. But the professional people knows which type of wood, which part of the wood, where to cut, how to connect, and then they start cutting it, and then they start polishing it, and then they put
coating.
Yeah, the coating, and then the polish, So all these stages eventually revealing what the wood is really is. But during the stages, it's very, very hard to see. When you just put on the coating, it looks too shiny, it looks sticky. Every stage need to have, you need to be professional to understand what you're doing, to have a vision, to see the outcome, the final result.
Yeah.
And that's the case with Yancha. I think more than any other type of tea, because the baking, the roasting, is super, super important here.
Yeah.
So when you make those decisions, which bushes to pick, and how to make the tea, and how to bake the tea, you always have in mind the final stage. You always have in mind what you're trying to make. And I feel that between these two teas, it was very clear for the makers, for the people responsible to make this tea, what they had in mind. While here, I feel like I feel the flaws coming out. For example, in like a table, you have some kind of part of the table that it has a bit of a crack, so you put more coating, more color, or you need to polish more because it's not really even. And then you don't see something very, very smooth and even throughout the table like our new table.
Okay, so I can't wait to try the second brew. Not like Nadi, usually the way I drink Yancha, only the first brew, I couldn't tell anything. Actually, not Yancha.
That wasn't the game like we're drinking,
Yeah, but like, like for any other type of tea, only for the first brew, I would never be able to judge because I think it's too soon.
Okay.
So let's see the development of this tea and see if it's what you said, the flaws will be more obvious. Can you make me? So which one is what?
You see, right and left.
Okay.
I'm just a simple guy.
Okay, here. Can't wait for the...
Oh, look at it changing colors.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a bit orange now.
We brew. This is really red. I mean,
yeah.
This is red, and this is more orange, more restrained. So I'll start.
The Chong flavor is out now.
The dry fruit we couldn't feel in the unbaked version.
Oh wow!
If you would have told me this tea is from the same makers as the previous one, I would believe. They have really a lot in common. Even though this is last year, baked twice, and this is this year, baked once.
Well, even the second brew, this baking, it's even more dominant. But the astringency, it's quite disturbing in my opinion. Not bad aftertaste.
As we will continue to brew these two teas, we will see how different they are, and they will become more and more different and incomparable.
Yeah.
But
the baking here is taking a lot of space, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it's like, even though it's already a year's rest, that in my opinion, when I try Yancha from last year, I expect the flavor from the cultivar will be revealing. And at this point, I think the fire is still a little bit covering the cultivar, if you know what I'm saying, right? Okay, so...
this is just very distinct. At this point, I would for sure recognize this tea when
Mhm.
when I drink it, even blind.
Actually, I want to compare this tea to the first tea that will be ready. Actually, it's already ready. Maybe next week when I get the tea.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you said the baking has some similarities, and I'm
It's
curious to
true,
know.
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. By the way, I haven't shared some information about Wuyi, why the price tag of Wuyi Lao Cong Shui Xian can be compared to Zhenyan Sha. Originally, the Lao Cong Shui Xian trees, it's supposed to have a lot, but for some reasons, also I believe they're highly related to the society or the financial situation of the farmers. So what now left in Wuyi, it's only around 2,000 Lao Cong Shui Xian trees. So the quantity is one of the main factors to affect the price tag, especially such a huge plantation that only grows Lao Cong Shui Xian. And the area is 1,200 meters high, which is quite rare as well.
It's quite high for
for
high.
for Yancha.
Look at the color. I'm drinking the first one.
If you look at this tea, I wouldn't believe this is Yancha, right? Wow, today we're drinking quite a lot of tea, so I think like a little bit more I will stop.
The yoga will
Yeah.
will
So-
help digest everything.
Yeah. So
Well,
What
so
else
similar.
we need to talk?
You want to try?
what
I'm
really?
telling you, it's similar. Similar. No?
You know what? Like the first bake, I think the aftertaste and the richness, it didn't reach to a point. For me, it's a bit lacking of something because I love Yancha, which has long aftertaste. So
Nobody's perfect.
yeah, it's true. All right. So anything we want to add?
No, we talked about 4 stages. We talked about how important it is to sample, continue to sample the tea while resting. The more professional traders and makers in the industry will not even give a price tag yet. They will usually start selling the highest grade of Yancha around January.
Yeah. Late.
Before
2024
before the
or
Chinese
January.
New Year. I think we also should add the fact that these teas are reserved. This is not teas that like you're entering a shop and you find this quality of Yancha. Maybe this one, but you don't just enter a shop. There are a lot of shops here in Xiamen because it's very popular. Also in Wuyi there's a lot of shops.
A lot of big brands.
Yeah, big brands and wholesalers and famous companies. These doesn't hold the highest qualities and the highest value of tea. The highest value of tea in Yancha need to be reserved in advance. Sometimes it's just a piece of land or a few trees that you are reserving, and then you need to take care of the baking on your own. I think
Actually, not baking the whole thing. You're taking the
yeah,
raw materials.
you buy the raw material. True,
Yeah.
true,
Mm.
and that's how you can really maximize the quality and also the uniqueness, because when you really try different yanchas, different cultivars, different years, different stages, and different makers and bakers, you can really feel the difference, especially in the baking. But it's the time of resting that you can really evaluate and understand what you did wrong and what you did well. and that's why the process of Yancha is actually a long term.
Yeah. Not talking about some of the Yancha from specific Yancha Zhenyan area. Even after 2 times of baking, the tea is ready. But even after 1 year of resting, then the real flavor of the tea will starting to appear. So
they will rest again. If
yeah,
they will.
yeah. So it's definitely a long process to understand each area's cultivars, their characteristic, and some kind of tea when it's ready to release in the market. Some kind of tea still need to rest. Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you guys for watching and hope
subscribe.
Hope to see you soon with the next one very soon. Bye.